It spans the globe like a superhighway. It is called Internet. The net to longtime users.
First, you have a large crowd of people who saw this. Then you have multiple videos.
In the morning, still tired after a good night's sleep, too dragged out and nervous to face the day, too tired, too often.
To allow the high-tech flow of facts and figures between government, business, schools, and citizens. Computers, databases, and consumer electronics designed to put vast amounts of information at the user's fingertip.
This is where America's peace of mind begins. Around the clock, radar's electronic eyes watch the skies and report what they see to SAGE, Defense System of the United States Air Force.
All of this can be fed into the computer through these magnetic tapes at a rate of 12,000 numbers or letters per second.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, a few of you. Sorry to subject you to my creative indulgences with that starting soon screen. I hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of a stream to sort of test out the infrastructure that I have set up for everything. I've done a few private ones, but you know, I kind of wanted to just go live out of nowhere, see how it went, chill with a few people who may be fans of this channel. So yeah, I do have a few things lined up to talk about, but nothing like no specific schedule or script, if you will. I don't know, just felt like it would be cool to kind of chill with you guys for a little while. Yeah, thank you, Mike. And let me know if anything is out of focus, sounds crappy, or anything like that. I don't have like any of the membership stuff set up right now, and I don't know when I will, but I thought it would, you know, I just really just wanted to hang out and not trying to ask for anything from you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Red Bike. Thank you, LASIK. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you guys could, you know, hit the like button, whatever you do. You're, I guess, kind of like part of a moment in history where, like, you're in the first stream of hopefully many to come. You know what I'm saying? A high-pitched noise. Thank you, Dad's Life. I will address that. Let's see if I can find it. Does it sound like a background noise? All right, Mike, here you go. Focus test. Incoming. How is it? Kind of sucks. Yeah, I will take questions if you guys, anything you guys want to know. I mean, that's what I'm here to do, is just kind of talk to you guys. Do I make livable money off of the YouTube channel, LASIK? Yeah, of course. And I have a whole team of employees that work for ATA, and we run a proper business analyzing these police interactions. Let's see. Have I ever been threatened to be sued? I've been threatened to be sued, but no one's ever actually filed a lawsuit. I can't recall like any specific instances, but I've gotten a lot of emails over the years of, you know, people just saying that they don't appreciate whether from both sides, honestly, too, from both police officers and people who were in the videos that we featured. Let's see. 1 second. Let me get this chat thing worked out. Here it is. Okay. Sorry I'm taking so long, and there's probably going to be a lot of times where I'm like figuring out what to say. Kind of new to this streaming and just live content in general, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. Let me see if I can figure out this high-pitched noise. Turn the gain down. Am I too quiet now? Okay. Trying to figure out this audio setup I have kind of sucks. Yeah, hopefully that fixed the volume issue, but I'm not sure what the high pitched noise is. It's probably something in the background. A high frequency filter. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Is that better? I'm working with this Go XLR. Oh, wait a minute. This may be... maybe that helps. This is top secret. Oh, it's intermittent. Okay. Well, if it's variable, I will just work that out later. Let me see if I can hear that on my end. Sounds like it's okay when I listen to the stream itself. Okay, I'll go back to, but thank you guys. I'll definitely address that later. It's definitely the FBI bugs. They want to know about everything I'm doing right now. Hobbies? Do I have hobbies? I do have hobbies. Sitting in this freaking chair apparently is like my favorite hobby because I do that like the most of everything. But outside of that, I like to play golf. I have a family, so I, live the dad life a lot. And I play video games occasionally. I've been addicted to this really underground boxing game called Undisputed. It's like not even that good of a game at all. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was wearing the TaylorMade hat. Sorry about that. Yeah, the narrator is actually, yeah, he's actually built an entire business off of, through YouTube and narrating for other channels. So I'm sure he's making a killing doing what he's doing. But Cal Bayou, I have not. I actually never had two pairs of grandparents that were alive at the same time. There's a disc golf game on Google Play. I think I would like disc golf, but I've never played it. But secondly, I don't really like mobile games. I believe you, Cal Bayou. I believe that would be a traumatic experience, my guy. No doubt. No doubt. Do I have formal education, Wawa? Sorry, I'm going back and forth between reading what the most recent and what has been asked, so bear with me. I actually have a degree in journalism, and how I got the idea from the channel was that I was working for a newspaper, and they kind of just let me write a column every week about whatever I wanted to write about. I'd known about the First Amendment auditing community for a while at that point. I had watched Tom Zebra and of course Jeff Gray, old school guys. And so I started writing that column about constitutional law, specifically certain Supreme Court cases and stuff like that. And that's it went from there. It kind of also when I was in college, I took the time to take some film classes and learn how to video edit and work with cameras. So just kind of had all the right skills at the right time. Yeah, look, Jeff Gray is probably one of the best auditors on YouTube by far. He has integrity. One of the most interesting things about him, and I actually interviewed him a long time ago because I was going to do a video like showcasing him as an auditor, but I just never had the time to do that. But he causes audits civil rights investigations, and he does not like refer to himself as an auditor per se. He is a civil rights investigator, which makes sense because if you look at his content, especially like his old stuff, that's what he was doing. He was like getting reports of certain areas and going there. Like there was no there was no frame of like you can be an auditor and make money and things like that. He was doing it like way back, you know. Well, that means a lot. And it's not, nowadays I have to say, it's not just me, you know. I do have a certain like amount of legal knowledge, I would say. And for the first year or two of ATA, I did everything. You know, I wrote the script. I didn't actually narrate for that long, but that was about the only thing I wasn't doing for the first 2 years of the channel. But then eventually I hired an attorney who helps me with the script writing and things like that. So I got to give credit to my team as well, because they're a big part of where the content has grown, like what it has grown to be. Well, hey, Emily, I get asked that a lot, like about doing episodes of ATA that aren't in America. But the problem with that is that I don't know anything about European law. And I'm sure that each country has its own legal system that's vastly different from the next one. And just trying to understand and interpret America's legal system is really hard. So it'd be so difficult to do it. I just couldn't do it. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Mac. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you know, there was a lot of vetting that went into deciding who would make a good fit for, you know, this team. And it was a long process, but we found like the perfect group of people to be doing this, who all, you know, think objectively. There's no, you know, political bias being brought to the table with anyone in the team. We all have a shared vision for what ATA should be, and that's, you know, it's very rare to surround yourself with people who share the same vision as you. Thoughts on the Boeing whistleblowers dropping like flies? I have a lot of thoughts on that. First of all, I mean, it's no coincidence that those individuals passed away at such a pivotal moment in their careers. I don't trust Boeing as a company for other reasons outside of before this even happened. You know, so it's no surprise to me that they would be capable of something like that. Yeah, Emily, in order to really branch out to be able to cover other countries, we would need to bring in like a legal expert from each country, and we just don't. The channel just doesn't make enough money to be able to do that. It would be awesome if it did, and it's easy to see it as like this perpetual cycle, like, oh, well, you bring in this legal team from Germany and then they'll be able to create more content, which will generate more money. But it's not really perpetual like that, and it has a lot of waves, a lot of ups and downs. So it's just, we would never, with the waves and the ups and downs of YouTube's like viewership and revenue, we would never be able to really like be at a comfortable spot to sustain something like that. But I would love to expand to Canada and the UK especially, because I get a lot of requests for, you know, interactions there, but it's just not feasible. That would be cool. That would be an interesting idea. Maybe we could do something like that for the second channel, this channel, you know, and just be able to get other legal experts to weigh in on situations like that. That's something I'll definitely think about in the future. But yeah, no, I made a whole video about alien stuff. So, I mean, that I kind of have a suspicion about Boeing and other defense contractors that they might be, you know, into some no good stuff. The capitalism model causing slipping safety standards. That's actually a good point. And by no means am I a socialist or in favor of socialism, but I don't think that capitalism is some perfect, you know, way of governing. It's definitely has its flaws, and profit is always going to be the biggest incentive of capitalism. So, because that's what drives innovation. So it makes me think, you know, I mean, of course they're going to want to cut corners every chance that they can. Every business wants to save money and be more profitable. I should do lawsuits involving doctors or animals. I was actually thinking about covering some different types of content like that on ATA. Like, because, like, for example, I see a lot of interrogation videos where they break down, like, the body language and, you know, the psychology of the interrogation. But no one ever really talks about, like, what if what they're saying is actually legally incriminating, and whether or not the whole interrogation is legal. You know, like because I'm sure there are interrogations out there that have been blown up all over the internet that at some point or another, like, went to court and got thrown out because of some legal loophole, you know. I thought that might be something interesting to cover, but I'm just not sure how much the ATA audience appreciates, like, branching out from the normal type of content, you know. I actually have added my videos to Rumble, and I've tried to work with Rumble because they actually reached out to me about posting videos there. And so, like, I went through the process of it. They, like, uploaded 10 videos and it went, like, nowhere. So kind of seemed like a waste of time. Why did I choose journalism? I chose it because I was always good at writing. That was, like, one of the things I was, like, naturally good at. And I wanted to do something different every day. Like, I can't stand, like, working on the same project over and over and never, like, really reaching a conclusion. I much prefer to, like, have a project, work on it, complete it, move on to the next project, work on it and complete it. You know, that's the kind of workflow that I prefer to live by. And that sort of, like, fits well with the journalism field. My original plan was to go into, like, war reporting, you know, and to be a foreign correspondent. But I actually ended up having a family while I was in college. So that kind of derailed that. It definitely takes the nihilism out of your life when you have children. So you know, just ended up going the traditional, like, let's work at the local newspaper route. And I was kind of, like, at the time still trying to find different ways of, like, just kind of going out and doing my own thing. What's the plan for this channel? the alien content was so fascinating. You know, the thing about it is like I love producing content like that, like about aliens, about conspiracy theories in general, and you know, just like darker fringe content. That's I like. It's a passion of mine to read about things like that. But the problem is that it's so intensive, like work intensive. I mean, ATA, running that channel, you know, doing everything that I do for that is difficult. It's a full-time job. So trying to create content for this channel and anything, literally anything else is hard. I don't necessarily worry about being labeled as a conspiracy theorist because I think, you know, it's not necessarily a bad label depending on the context. Because I do consider myself a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I think that there are conspiracies that are worth theorizing about out there. And I think it's important, like much like so think about it like this. You remember like the First Amendment auditing community when it was like first coming about, and even today, there's so much stereotype about it, you know? But I think that if you just stand on your true character and stand by the facts, that you can break through those stereotypes and show people that, you know, some of these people really are patriots and they really do know what they're talking about as far as auditors. I kind of think that the same way about conspiracy theorists. Like, of course, you know, there's a lot of them who are crazy and they don't know what they're talking about. But there are also some of them who aren't crazy, who are very intelligent and who do know a lot of like what they're talking about. So I can see myself like standing on my own merit with that, you know what I mean? And like allowing people to see who I am and, you know, my authenticity and objectivity, and they can take the rest of it, you know, how they want to. So you're talking about the alien language video, Daniel? I don't know, man. I mean, I still walked away from that whole encounter and doing all that research and stuff, still thinking that it probably wasn't true. But there was just so much content there that it was a good one to make a video about, because it wasn't very well known. There was a lot of like imagery, documents, you know, things like that, and a full narrative to connect everything together. So it was just a really nice one to cover. There are many other UFO encounters that I think are probably a lot more worthy, like actual legit encounters. That one I'm not sure if it was a LARP or if it was like, or what was going on. I really don't know. Do I have an ATA video that I believe I made correctly, but you receive backlash from the content or the way that I made the video? That's a good question. See, the problem with questions like that, and sorry for missing it the first time, Smart, but there have been so many videos. I'll just say this. Yes. The answer is yes. Because I think when I put out every episode of ATA that there has been enough vetting, you know? I mean, it's been through an actual attorney. It's been read through by myself. And it's also been, you know, I see this video develop through every single step of the process. So I stand by pretty much every video. There may be times where, you know, something is shown later to be true, or maybe we made a mistake. But I would say that I stand by the reasoning and the logic of every video, and almost every single video gets backlash. So yeah, I do. There have been many videos where I believe they were made correctly, but I still got backlash from them. What are my thoughts on Attorney Shield? First of all, I think that if nothing else, it is a great deterrent to any kind of police, misconduct, especially just having an attorney right there. I mean, a voice of authority is something that police officers are subconsciously trained to do, to listen to. So I think that it's intimidating, if nothing else, to pull out your phone. But I think one thing that's important to point out is that, your right to an attorney is not actually established until after you've been arrested and charged with a crime, if I'm not mistaken. The Sixth Amendment, I believe it is. So my point is that I'm not sure if, like, for example, if a cop were to arrest you and take your phone, it wouldn't be a constitutional violation for them to end your correspondence with that attorney. Just like, it wouldn't be if you were on the phone with anyone else. So I think that it's a very good product, and it definitely serves its purpose. But I think people should just understand like how it works, and understand that it's not like it may or may not save you from police misconduct, but then again, literally nothing can. So it's better than nothing, and I think it's definitely worth having as a product, and I'm glad that it's out there, and I'm happy that it was developed by people who really actually care, like Lackluster and Long Island Audit, both great content creators. Let's see. Have I ever seen the back of a dollar bill? Nope. I don't use cash, man. I've never seen a dollar bill in my life. Have I ever ridden a motorcycle? Yes, many times. I love riding motorcycles. Longer form content about certain cases would be nice. Provide background on the victim, assailant, and then follow the plot from the interaction to the resolve. Body camera footage, interrogation court. Yeah, Elliot, that would be a really cool video, but it's just so hard to find cases like that. And the ones you do find that are like that have all, like, everything from the moment of contact until, through the interrogation, being taken to jail, it's always ancient. Because anytime there's police misconduct, the videos are not released to the public because they have to be investigated. And then after that, if the investigation's completed and there was in fact police misconduct, then they're sealed until the lawsuit's over. And then there's a good chance that there will be settlement terms that seal the videos and, of course, allow the city to not admit any wrongdoing. So it's really hard to find interactions where you could get like video from start, middle, end, like that would be really cool. But unfortunately, it's just very hard to do, very hard to find. The videos get backlash from sovereign citizens who are objecting to the fact that reality is being presented. It's not the content. That could be the case. I don't think they're all sovereign citizens. I think, some of them just have legal disagreements and different interpretations, but I do think a lot of it comes from a place of malice and not really a disagreement with the facts. No power having Houston. Oh, okay. Law enforcement cannot manually turn off the app. That's a really great feature. And that, yeah, so that alone is totally worth using it. Yeah, no, I believe your right to counsel can be used, but I don't think that a court would say that it was that you were entitled to that right until after you were actually arrested. I don't think that you have a right to a counsel for being stopped based on reasonable suspicion. The cop hangs up on the lawyer in the video. Yeah, I mean, see, and that's what it would be interesting to see that challenged in court, because like I said, and I'm just speaking from the hip because I haven't like done any research into that or not. That was just like something that came to my mind, you know, when I was looking at it. The hand tattoos. Let me see if I can show this. This is just music notes, and then this is a date. If you turn off your phone, it'll require a passcode to reopen your phone. That's good. But don't phones already do that? I mean, if you set that like that. What type of music do I like? I like all kinds of music. I play music. So, I mean, I have a huge variety of taste in music. I like a lot of music some people don't like. And I like a lot of mainstream music too. Oh, dude. My golf handicap is really bad. I just started playing like a year ago, and I just broke 100 like 2 months ago. So, hey, it was good to have you here, Smart. Thanks for joining the secret stream. Yeah, your fingerprint. I saw an article about that your fingerprint is not protected. It's not constitutionally protected, which is weird. That's because, like, you would think that would be part of your effects, right, under the Fourth Amendment. But it's that, I guess not. Am I a car guy? Yes, I love cars. I love weird cars, and I love fast cars. I love off-road vehicles. Right now, I drive a Tesla, a Model 3, which is not that great of a car, if you ask me. I'm not very happy with it. But I also drive I have a truck as well that is an F-250, the 6.7. Oh, I know of Travis Hines, Daniel. He's has like 5 million different YouTube channels, and I think he starts a new channel for every lawsuit that he files. But yeah, I know him well, and we've covered like a couple of interactions on the main channel of his. He's a cool guy. He's eccentric, different, but he's a cool guy. I am on X at Audit the Audit, I think, but I don't really. I kind of hate social media, to be honest. I rarely get on there, and usually it's just a bitch about YouTube not doing anything about problems I'm having on the platform. Take it easy, Zeno. Yeah, I know, Emily. I'm starting to not like EVs myself. But the Tesla, the reason I have it is because I don't really drive a lot. And it really is easier than and cheaper than, it was cheaper than a Honda Accord. So, I mean, think about that. And I bought this in 2021 when the market was like so much worse than it is now. The main reason that I went with an EV is because I was kind of stuck in this price range, and I just want before. I'll say this: the Tesla was like the first nice vehicle I've ever owned. Before that, I drove a bunch of crap cars like Hondas, like cars that I was always working on or fixing, or wasn't the proudest to drive. So I wanted a car that was going to be like zero maintenance, like super easy and fun to drive, and it has been that. But not having a manual transmission, not hearing a brutal roar every time you hit the gas pedal, you really start to miss that a lot, and the appeal of an EV wears off quick. But I bought the car. I'm just gonna drive it. I have my F-250 if I feel like polluting the atmosphere anytime soon. So. Do I take a side that's blatantly in the wrong just to make you mad? Genuinely, no. I would never do that. And I would never do anything like that to make a mockery of like the interaction itself. Those are real people, having real problems, and I would never like do anything just to be controversial. I kind of feel like the whole appeal of the channel is like the opposite of that. So. Are you talking, Mr. TV, Marcus Brownlee's latest video on the Ioniq 5N? Is that like Hyundai's hydrogen car or whatever? Because if so, I think that car looks sick. Like, it's probably the coolest. Like, I'm a big fan of like classic imports, like 80s imports, like, and 70s imports. Like the 70s model Skylines are so good. But I don't know if I would drive a hydrogen car. I just don't like the idea of that. And I'd have to hear how it sounds as well, because I'm figuring out that that's actually a big like decision maker for me. Yeah, Teslas do have a lot of handy features, but you can't drive them very far without needing to like, if you're going on a long road trip, it's going to add like 2 or 3 hours to your drive, and that is so annoying. It's like the only reason to have that car is if you're just going to be driving it like to and from work and around the city. Emily says the EVs only work in major population areas in Australia. I mean, that makes sense. Imagine getting stuck in the middle of Australia in an EV. Like that's like the equivalent of getting stuck in the middle of Australia with a microwave, I haven't been following the Alec Baldwin case very much. I really don't keep up with I mostly only really follow constitutional stuff. What kind of case is coming up next week? That's a good question. Let me take a look over here and I can give you guys some clues. Oh, right. Um, there was actually an interaction at this bar with this like super racist cop. These two cops that were really. It's about. It's probably it's going to be an infuriating episode, to be honest with you. And one that deserves a lot more closure. I saw that Wawa asked, "What do I think of Boogie faking cancer for 3 years?" I mean, what do you expect from a guy who pulled a crypto scam on his own audience? You know, I mean, those are the type of people that YouTube is hosting right now. Will AAA come out and give you a charge? Or are you saying they will? I don't know if AAA is capable of doing that. And how would they do that? I guess you could have like batteries in a truck, a charger truck. That's a good idea. Do my parents support my YouTube career? Well, I mean, I was like well out of I was supporting myself for a while, quite a while before my YouTube career came about. So, yes, they do, because they have gained a lot from it. So they just use a gas generator on the back of a trailer if you get stuck on the road in an EV. Oh, well, I guess you really only need to charge it up enough to like drive it onto a trailer. That makes sense. That's interesting. A diesel powered. That's kind of funny too. A diesel powered EV station. Honestly, Wawa, I kind of think it is a well. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's really emotionally. Is it worse than that? I don't think so, because that lady was like so kind and innocent. The one in the recent video, the one that's coming out next week. It involves a bunch of men. And still like the same kind of situation. They're both like really close. It's like neck and neck, to be honest. So, okay. So the diesel generators actually charge better. How much time into my YouTube career was I able to quit my traditional day job? Well, I would say that this YouTube channel had a little bit of a less than average trajectory because of the timing. I mean, at the time I was, the George Floyd thing had just happened, and so there was a lot of people eager to learn about their rights and things like that. So, I think it was within like 4 or 5 months, I was making about the same amount of money that I was making at my day job, and then a few months later, I quit and just pursued the channel full time. Raik, I hope I'm saying that right, dog. Yeah, I wish I could partner with some police organizations. I've actually reached out to a couple that I like personally, and I haven't been able to work with anyone or really get anyone to work with me. Specifically, like the Institute of Justice and FIRE. I'm trying to remember what their acronym means, but I can't. I have terrible memory. But I've actually reached out to both of them to be like, hey, let's collaborate. Or, you know, if you could use my services. I mean, I know you're a group of professionals over there, but, you know, I'd like to help if I can. And I just never really get any kind of response from them. So I've given up at this point. Thank you, FPV Addict Dad. You fly FPV drones? Oh, I'm up there. I'm ranked with CoffeeZilla. I appreciate that. I like his content. He's a very good investigator. I want to build an off-road truck too. I really want to build like an off-road. Have you guys seen that, like the Earth Roamer thing? It's like an off-road Class C RV. It's huge. It's awesome. Anyway, look, I got some stuff to go over with you guys. Couple of announcements, quick things. Sorry, I'll try to mute that whenever I vape, because I know this mic is kind of loud right now. Sorry about that. Or not loud, but it's like picking up a lot of background noise. I'm going to work on this audio situation in the future. But there's some stuff. You know what I mean? First of all, I don't know, did you guys watch this video? I've actually reached out to Steve Leto before to try to collaborate, but that was years ago, but he was not interested. Well, he didn't reply. I don't know. Maybe he didn't see the email, so I don't want to put words in his mouth or motivations in his mouth. And I reached out to the civilian rights lawyer once, John, and trying to see if he would share some body camera footage with me. He said he would, but never got around to it. But again, he's actually an attorney, a busy guy, got more going on outside of a YouTube channel, so, and he's never really collaborated with anyone else that I know of. So I don't take that personally whatsoever, but I just wanted to make it known that I have tried to collaborate with them. Speaking of Jeff Gray, he actually sent me a text message not that long ago. I think it was yesterday. Let me see if I can find it and show it to you. Yeah, you won't be able to see anything else. Let's see. Focus. This video, you guys remember this video? It's the video I have pulled up right here, right there, right now. This text message says that he is suing the city of Ocean Springs in Mississippi, Officer Wilder, who was the cop who told to go get an attorney and sue the city. I guess he said in the video, go get you an attorney. He's been served with the lawsuit. So anyway, I just wanted to fill you guys in on that. And that is this episode here. Oh, of course. I'm not signed in to my account. But anyway, that's that episode. Have you guys seen this video? Am I planning on covering tribal law? Actually, there is a an update episode coming out soon that has an update on the really old episode where the tribe like stopped that wildlife officer who was like passing through their land or whatever. So I'm not going to be covering tribal law necessarily, but there was a ruling in regards to tribal law that I'll probably cover in that update. Yeah, I wanted to see if you guys had seen this video or not. And, you know, maybe we could watch it together or at least watch some of it. I don't want to make this stream too long. I just kind of like, you know, wanted to pop in, say hey to everybody and stuff, but how's it going, Kung Fu Grip? For your channel, I think you should talk about the lawsuits of divorces, accidents, and businesses. You know what's interesting is like a few months ago, there was like this TV producer who called me and asked if I would be interested in doing a TV show that like looked at different clips of people having like civil disputes and determine like tell the audience what was right or wrong about it, you know, basically like ATA for civil stuff. But then they never called me back, so I don't know what happened with that, but anyway, so we've seen this video. Yes? No? I mean, geez, it got 2.8 million views. Cobwebs, they dropped the charges against that guy, against the immigrant guy, because obviously there was nothing to charge him with. So I know that that's the he is no longer being charged with murders or anything like that. Okay, I'll play it. Let me turn the volume down. Oh my God.
Able to escape the car after crashing into water.
Is that too loud?
Good. Hey, I clocked in at 68, okay? That's why I'm stopping you. Yeah, do you have your lights on you?
You guys let me know if that's too quiet or too loud. Okay.
Hey, appreciate you coming out.
Could be a touch louder.
I haven't talked to him yet. Oh, good. Hey, I haven't talked to him yet. Until I know it's a basic warrant out of Mexico.
So it sounds like they already have a warrant for this guy that they're pulling over. I haven't watched this video, by the way. But I just saw it went viral and thought maybe we could watch it together. But it sounds like he just said they have a warrant out of Arizona for this guy.
Hey, man, go step out there real quick. I'm going to show you something.
Sir, come on, step back here. Go ahead and face that car. Put your phone on the top of it.
What am I doing? I'm just explaining everything to you. That's why I'm having you out.
Yeah, it actually is a requirement for police officers to have forearm tattoos. It's a law. It's definitely a law. I can't remember the code, but it's a federal code. You have to abide by that.
So you are under arrest at this time. You have a warrant out for your arrest.
A warrant for what? I'm going to show it to you in a moment, okay? Is this your car? my girlfriend's car. The girlfriend's car. Can he drive it? The guy that's in the passenger seat? Yes, sir. Okay. Go ahead, Twister. Get up there.
So, what am I going to arrest for?
I'm going to show it to you. Okay. Come back here for a second. I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you the LiDAR too, where I clocked you at 68. That's not really the
That's
biggest
right,
concern
Valhalla.
here, okay? But I'm going to show you the warrant once I get you secure, okay? Is there anything you want to bring with you down there to Mecklenburg County Jail?
No, I'm saying, can I understand, what am I being detained for?
Yeah, it's a warrant. I'm going to show you the actual warrant in just a moment when I have a chance to sit you down.
Yeah, you know, that's the plan. I'm going to be doing live streams on this channel whenever I feel like it. You know, like right now, this is just like an introduction, chill kind of thing. But oftentimes I find myself doing work for ATA, whether that be like putting together a thumbnail or researching a video, editing a script, whatnot. And I have a lot of time that I could just spend streaming instead, you know, and bringing you guys kind of like into the behind the scenes and build like a real community out of that. So that's kind of the plan moving forward. And so bear with me as I work out the kinks to all of that, you know, but we'll see how it goes.
Is there anything on you need to know about Vanessa Poker Stickman? No, sir. Okay. Do you want to bring these items with you or leave them in the car?
Yeah, you can give me, you can put them in my pocket.
Thank you, Pearl.
Right here in the pocket.
Step feet right just a little bit.
Seems like
Can I get my,
seems like the cops are being pretty nice to him. Following procedure. Oh, that's a lot of money.
I'm gonna leave that cash in there. Any other pockets I need to know about? No, sir. Go ahead and see what's there.
what is my money on the clearance right there, guys?
What? Oh, okay.
What is that? That's not mine. I ain't seen that. I've never seen that in my life. What are you doing with my property then?
So I'm gonna roll the window down and tell you what you're in here for.
Okay, I think we're looking at the body camera of the officer who is going to be accused of taking the money. Right? Because he already seems a little concerned about like where the money is and who has it.
Put your stuff right here.
My phone's right here too on top of the phone. But what am I in for then?
So, I don't know if you've had a history with them or not, but you got a U.S. Marshal for them.
It actually, Michael, in some places it actually is illegal to carry over to $10,000 or more. I think like in some places it's like $9,999 in cash or less is not illegal. But sometimes it is actually illegal to carry too much cash on you. And there's weird, obscure laws about that at the state level. I'll have to look those up sometime and like go over them with you guys. But I do know that's a thing, and I'm pretty sure I can find a video that like would showcase that. He's got to be a dope dealer, because based on the way I heard that rubber band pop. Well, yeah, I mean, he is experienced with cash, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily a dope dealer. I mean, some people just prefer to operate in cash. I know a lot of like old-timey redneck guys who have never even had a bank account. They only operate in cash, and they definitely don't deal dope. I agree. I don't think it should be illegal at all to carry any amount of money that you want to, and the government should mind their own business about how much cash you decide to carry and how you decide to carry it. Yeah, you definitely cannot fly with 10K, and they will not let you do that. They don't just, and Reich, they don't just fine you. They will also just take your money because it can be evidence against the fact that you're committing the crime of having too much money. Yeah, I think Kung Fu Grip is right. It's kind of like, it's just antiquated legislation back when 10K was actually like a really serious amount of money. But, and not saying it's not now. I mean, 10K is a lot of money, but it doesn't have the same value as it did when those laws were written. I can assure you of that. Oh, the police raid on Afro Man's house. We might cue that video up at some point on a live stream and just talk about that one, because it is interesting. And what happened afterwards is really interesting too, because he made a music video using the footage of the officers raiding his house, and then one of those cops sued him for like defamation or something like that. And that was a really interesting case. So that's a great idea. We'll think about that in the future. Remind me about that in a future live stream, and we'll do it. Steve and the IJ would love to hear the civil asset forfeiture video. Yeah, I mean we'll do a video about that. I actually did I tried to, with the Institute of Justice, when they covered that one guy who had his stuff seized by the police, I tried to work with them, but they didn't give me all the body camera footage. And then they tried to tell me that they didn't actually have it, but they didn't give me parts of the body camera footage that they themselves used in their own video. So I didn't understand, I don't know. We just got lost in communication, and I decided it wasn't worth pushing to try to get everything I needed to make a video, especially since they had already covered it so well. What is a DDET card? I've never heard of that, Bush. Will I ever narrate and audit the audit video again? Possibly. I think at this point it might have been so long since I narrated one that the people who watch the videos may not even recognize me anymore. But, I'm always open to doing that. And I was going to start this habit of the first video of every year, I would be the one narrating it, but it just didn't work out this past year. So. Pearl, I highly doubt that Afro Man, or that the cop would have any claim to his profits, because it was private video on private property, first of all. But secondly, you're allowed to commercialize whatever you want, and make a piece of art out of it. And that's exactly what that music video was. It was just a piece of art. And, I don't think that he was directly affected or could prove any kind of real damages from that whatsoever anyway. But I would love to see what his actual argument is. Yeah, Emily, you're right. I mean, if all of your money is just ones and zeros, well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I feel like if all the ones and zero money crashes, then the paper money is probably going to be pretty fucking useless too. So, I don't know if it's better to have cash or, I mean, would you rather have your money deleted or stolen by someone, I mean, either way, every bit of money in this world is at risk. So, I don't know what's the safe thing. Oh, the lawsuit against Afro Man was dismissed. Yeah, no, that's a big shocker, you know. All right, Daniel. Have a good night, brother. Yeah, paper cash does work if the internet fails. That's true. But if the internet fails for too long, then no cash matters. Oh, he was selling shirts as well. I still don't think he would be entitled to any profits. Especially if the image was taken when he was like in his official public capacity. I mean, you have a First Amendment right. You could walk up to a police officer and take their image and commercialize it, and I highly doubt that they would have an actual legal defense against that. As long as you're in public, that is, and they're like on the clock. Yeah, that's the true thing, Valhalla. You're exactly right. Money is not going to do anything for you sitting in a bank account or buried in your backyard. The real thing to do with money is stockpile rice, just like Reformed just said. You just stockpile rice. Eventually you can start a rice farm. You can have an entire ecosystem that supports itself and is self-sustaining. And then step one in taking over the world is complete. Yeah, buy crypto. Honestly, I think buying crypto and stockpiling rice are probably right up there with they're really close to being as prime financial advice as you could possibly get right now. And this is coming straight off of YouTube, so you know it's legit. Just do it. Buy rice, lots of rice, and invest in cryptocurrency coins, especially the ones you've never heard of. Yeah, no, crypto is bad. Don't buy crypto. It's just not a good idea. Should we watch this video or should we just talk? I feel like this video is really long. I kind of just want to get to the part where he's like, hey, dude, you took my money.
My God.
No, I have nothing against. Yeah, I have nothing against crypto, and I think you definitely can make money in crypto. It's too risky, and all of the investments that I'm making are long term.
His arm right now.
How much cash did you have on you?
Can you check your hands? I didn't. Can you check your people's? Because he's touching. Yeah. What's going on?
Look at this dude.
Look at his hand.
Look at his face. Look at this guy's face. He's guilty. This face alone says it all. So they do get him. That's what I was wondering about. Do they actually catch him right there and do something about it?
He's tucking money. He's tucking money right in his right hand.
Look at him.
He's tucking money. He's tucking my money. That's a problem. Can y'all check him?
Listen to me. What was your total cash?
He's telling her, no, don't check me.
Listen.
Look at him moving. He's moving. Oh my God, y'all not gonna check him?
Listen.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Listen. Come on.
I've been cooperating with you guys the whole time. I'm not gonna allow
anybody to take your money.
Look at him. He's moving.
But look at me.
He's trying to do something sneaky down there.
If someone takes your money, it will be a big problem. All right. No one's gonna take your money. I can see his hand. I can see exactly what he's doing. No one's gonna take your money. She's gonna count your money.
There's more money. Him touch my money.
There's more money in here. You're saying that there's more money in here?
But what I'm saying is,
let me ask you a question. Answer my question. Are you saying that there's more money in here?
What I'm saying is, he just touched my money and went through 3 different floor compartments, and I seen him put it in between his legs. I heard my rubber band. I've been nothing but cooperative with you guys. All I wanted you guys.
He's shaking, dude. He's shaking in his boots. He's scared.
Okay, come sit over here.
y'all already let him move. Like, there's no way. Like, watch. That's crazy. I can't believe y'all just did me like that.
How much cash do you have on you total so I can count it out and we can verify if it needs medicine? That's what I'm asking you.
Here's the thing, though, is like, what if he didn't know? I mean, that's a lot of money to just know exactly how much it is all the time. Like, he could have already used a couple of hundreds out of it, you know? And at this point, any amount of money that's gone is going to be, you know, worth accounting for. So maybe he doesn't know exactly how much money he had.
You know what the total amount was?
No, I honestly don't. The money was for bills. My wife gave it to me. The one that she tried to give me. I tried.
What did I just say? I swear I've not watched this video. I just called that, though. But, I mean, it makes sense. Like, of course you wouldn't just know exactly how much money that was unless you just came out of the bank, you know?
I give her the money. You said don't give it to her.
Okay.
Because I went to Wendy's. I got a Wendy's receipt right.
But do you know how much cash you had on it so I can count it out so we can verify the total? Do you know approximately how much you had on it?
If I say a number and I get it wrong because he touched the money, then it's going to be all wrong. But I just don't understand why I heard my...
That was so smart. Like, to not say... Because here's the thing, is like, this question is inherently incriminating. Because what they're asking him to do is place an objective value on the amount of money that he had, so that now they have a threshold to meet. Now, as long as he gets back, if he says, I had $1,300 and they can account for $1,200 of it, and now they only got to find $100. But the cop actually may have taken $500 and he may have been mistaken and only thought he had $1,300 when he actually had $1,800. So to ask him to say, how much money did you have? I mean, it makes sense from her perspective, but it's also a question that's kind of tricky, and he's very intelligent not to answer that. And I'm glad that he didn't.
I just grabbed it from the seat to give to her.
That's not what you just told me either, boss.
I did. That's what I did. And I handed her the
I'm not going to lie,
envelope.
have I gave you any problems?
No, sir, you have not.
That's all I wanted to ask, sir. I just don't understand why y'all couldn't. Like, I'm not going. I sit on my face. I'm not going nowhere. I just wanted to.
I'm asking you what your total was so we can count it out. You can watch me count
I'm
it out.
not sure. I'm distraught. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. I didn't even know I had a warrant. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to like.
So if you.
What's it called? I'm trying to like just like comply with you guys.
I got
but
you.
That just doesn't make sense to the point where like I just watched him. Me and you both watched him move his hands. I watched him tear up. I watched him look at you and tell him like look at you and tell you no, you're not about to. I just watched him do way too much when I haven't been nothing but nice and compliant to you guys. You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to go along with you guys' protocols and everything. All I've done was ask questions so I know how like to make sure I'm safe and my family can find me and stuff. And it's like I know.
And that's why I was asking you what your total was so we can sit here and count it out.
But
and
they
we can
would've-
verify that.
So, sorry about that. I had that muted. So why wouldn't they let his wife come get it? They may very well be attempting to inventory it. And she probably could come get it once they've inventoried it. It's probably a policy of some kind. And it is interesting, Kung Fu Grip, that he is just standing right in front of that window, and none of these cops are even trying to look inside of it. Like, I mean, that would just solve the whole thing. Just open the door and look inside. Have the cop empty his pockets. That would just solve everything. Why isn't anyone doing that? They're asking him questions that he doesn't need to answer. They're doing all of this unnecessary stuff that isn't actually investigative in any way. So it would be nice to see them just be like, hey, officer, open your door, empty your pockets.
It would have just helped me more seeing that you would have checked him. It's like it's simple.
But did you not see me walk over here?
I did see that, sir. But at the end of the day, none of you guys' body cam is on. Like I know.
Mine is on right now.
But I know for a fact what I seen and what I heard. And then when I asked him why was he like popping the rubber band on the money. He said I was just making sure something, but there's no need to make sure, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's my property, you feel what I'm saying? And I know for a fact the money was touched, but it's a million compartments.
Yes, I did touch it when I grabbed it out of the seat.
I understand, so I don't want to argue with you, Mr. Chapman. I just know what
No, sir.
Okay, so what I typically do is count out everybody's
You can
money
count it
in
again,
front of
but I'm
them
not gonna
so
lie
you
to
can
you.
see that it's accurate.
The money was altered
So
before.
when I turn it over to property, you can verify that the total we're counting out now is the total that you're going to get back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Are you good with me doing that right now?
Yes, ma'am.
The cop looks so nervous.
Do you have any kind of idea
He's so
about
scared.
how much you would
Yes,
say you
ma'am,
had
I
on
do,
you?
but I'd rather you count it first so I just know in my head.
But if you tell me afterwards that it's missing, that doesn't verify.
But if you
know what
guys
I'm
would have
saying?
stopped him
If
within
you
the whole,
tell me
if you
how
guys
much
would
it was now, I can count it and we can verify if it's missing. Okay?
I understand what you're saying, ma'am, and I appreciate everything. But I feel like you guys don't understand what I'm saying. But it's okay, I'm not tripping. You can turn it off. I just.
It's not that they don't understand. They're just not willing right now to take him seriously and do what needs to be done to dispel this. And it's not like they're legally obligated to. I mean, he's just making accusations right now. But I'm interested to see how they actually resolve this.
Like, you counting it out right now would just let me know exactly how much he took. But I'm not tripping anything. I'm not trying to cause any problems or any Miss Casperson. Miss Casperson. I'm not trying to cause any problems. I just know what I know, you know what I'm saying? I know. I heard the rubber band pop. I seen him fiddling. He did not just keep his hands up the whole time. Like no, I didn't. He didn't open the door and say, you can search me. Look, you know what I'm saying? I heard my money. I'm a very great businessman. I just paid bills a couple days ago, you know what I'm saying? I just know for a fact that he touched my money. And then he was adamant about not giving my money to my wife or the cameraman that was with me, you feel what I'm saying? He was just like, no, you're gonna keep your money on you, which wasn't a problem, you feel what I'm saying? But him touching the money prior to just putting it in I've been listening the whole time. He asked for the small envelope. He didn't put the money in there then. He asked for it just doesn't make sense. But you can do your job. I'm not trying to postpone or cause a problem. I just want to see how much is missing out at this point.
I want to count in front of you so
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see how much that you have, okay? 2, 7, 8.
We don't need to watch them count out the money. Yeah, man, you don't mess with this guy's money. He knows what's going on.
Saying that, okay?
Is that the rubber band that I bought?
Yeah. So you see me putting it all in here.
I appreciate you, I'm sure.
What are we saying? 190, right?
So I wasn't saying that you altered my money.
No, I didn't say you said that, okay? All right. But I said I wanted to count it out in front of you so you can see how much is in there, because when we turn this over to the sheriff's office, it's then going to go to Marshall's, that's going to go to the next sheriff's office. So this is us verifying that we're putting all of your money in here.
Can you write my name on there also? Can y'all I don't know the protocol with that, but can y'all check y'all his person? Because if anything is on him,
Look, sir.
it would be in big. No, I don't. Look,
There we
I'm
go.
gonna
There we
show you
go.
right. Look at me. Look at me.
There we go.
You guys probably
Empty them pockets.
Look, so look, this is all I want to explain to you.
You
guys.
got 50 pockets on
Most
those
of the time,
pants.
when somebody know they
Oh, you want to open the right one.
They didn't do anything. They're not gonna just, you feel what I'm saying, let you search them. And I don't have kids, you feel what I'm saying? But I know how that goes because my mom did foster care. So I'm up to par with all of that. And on top of that, if I didn't do anything, door, I don't know where it's at.
Open,
but just
open the
I
door.
don't even care to
Open
money,
it.
but how you know for a fact that I'm right.
Come here.
Oh, he's scared now.
Come here.
He's trying to get in the way.
I want you to hold me so you know that.
Okay.
He's standing in the way.
Do you see anything?
No, no cap. I'm not even gonna touch it. It's blue hundreds right here. It's all the blue hundreds are right there behind that receipt. Thank you. All that's my money. He didn't have that.
This is your
Busted.
Crumble it up. Thank you. All that's been recorded, right? That's my money.
Of course it ain't your money,
That's
dog.
my money right there.
Of course it ain't your money, dude. That ain't my money, is what he said. Of course it's not, man. That's not. No one was saying it was. Everyone was pretty sure it wasn't your money. You know?
Sir, you've been watching me that whole time.
I seen you take it. I seen you crumble.
Sir,
Just
that
count
is
it.
not me.
If I'm right, it's gonna be around $1,000. If I'm right, and like I told you, I just went to Wendy's. I seen you still.
No, sir.
If you don't mind, I just want to sit down so y'all don't try to say I'm resistant. I don't want to do nothing. All I know for a fact is I know what I know and I've seen it. I just wanted you guys to trust me, you feel what I'm saying? That's why I was just acting a little irate, but I'm perfectly fine, you feel what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to expose you.
That is not me, bud.
Brother, I just seen you steal my money. It was no reason for you to pop my rubber band, brother. It was no reason.
Well, the thing about Emily, the thing about that defense, why would he store his own money in a company vehicle? He wouldn't. And he said it himself. Literally, the first thing that this cop said was, "That's not my money." It was like the first thing he said. So it's not his money. Why would he say that if it was?
I didn't pop your rubber band off your money.
I heard it. Me and you just spoke about it. You heard him agree to it. When I first got it, I said, I heard you did rubber band. You said, oh, I had to do something. It's okay. It's okay. I know. I just witnessed here today. Mr. Chapman went in my money. He separated my money. He was trying to steal it, and I caught him. He put it in between his legs, and as his colleagues approached me, he worked it towards the door. He tried to make it seem like I was lying. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in full custody of these officers. I'm being detained. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want any problems. I'm not armed. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just pulled over for a traffic stop. He just tried to steal some of my money.
Okay, we're hearing you, but there's...
Wow. Like this guy, to be able to keep his composure like this when he knew for a fact that he was stolen from, to the point that these officers could not deny it. Like, in a normal situation like this, you would think, like, they're in the housing of a jail. Like, they could have easily just rushed him inside the jail and ignored everything he was saying. But he was so, like, passionate, calm, you know, like, his demeanor was perfect. He said everything with conviction and with a firmness, but without being aggressive. I mean, yeah, and not only, the look on the cop's face, like, how can you deny that? I mean, look, hats off to this guy. He definitely handled this situation really well.
No, I was just looking at the camera. No, I just know how it goes, you feel what I'm saying? I don't want to cause...
My camera's on the entire
Yes, ma'am.
time. Alright,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
let's take it down a notch.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. I'm
We're
so
good
sorry.
here, okay?
Yes, ma'am. So what are we going to do about this problem? Because he just tried to steal some of my
No,
money.
sir,
And I'm
I
not
did
trying to
not.
put any allegations on him. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not using my words like to try to hurt anybody. I just know what I know. And then I don't even like the fact, but I know you guys have like...
Yeah, that's a good point, Eric.
I don't even like the fact that he just tried to steal and nobody like stood up for me. You feel what I'm saying? Like nobody was like, okay.
Nobody saw anything
But I
that you were
seen
saying,
everything.
but nobody saw anything that you said.
I appreciate it, Mr. Morris. You his sergeant.
Yes, he is my sergeant.
I believe
So
that,
I have
Pearl.
20 and I can read. I remember when you called him out. I could tell you everything he said to you. Perfect timing. This was perfect. Perfect that you called me out this time because you didn't know the protocol to how a federal warrant was supposed to be taken care of. Correct and incorrect?
That's correct. That's the reason why I called him out to
But
ask.
you just separate. Whoa, so what was the purpose of you separating my money while you gave her money while you just watched her count my money out in full? Because you just wasted you wasted an evidence for it. Because now she has to rewrite a totally different number.
Oh, wow. Gosh, A+ is an understatement, dude. Like, not only that, he pointed out that, like, because you separated this money from my other money, you basically tampered with evidence and destroyed evidence. And you've destroyed a report that she just filed. She's about to have to rewrite this entire report about what evidence was found. Like, what a high IQ point to make in the middle of like such an emotionally taxing thing.
So if I would have agreed to the number that I didn't know when she asked me, then I would have been like ridiculed or seen as a liar or something. That's why I didn't answer your question, ma'am, because I said that I had just went to Wendy's. I believe that's my receipt. I only ordered a 10-piece nugget and I ordered like a fry and something to drink, so I didn't know
He's
the
10
actual
steps
amount
ahead.
of the money. All I know is when my girlfriend got off work at 5 o'clock, I was supposed to give her that money for the rest of the bills, and she was gonna get her car back. I was in a car wreck this week. That's why I wasn't in my own car, man. That was my girlfriend's car, Diamond Alexander. That's why when you initially pulled me over, and y'all probably have my phones, you can see the call record. I called her at like 4 or something.
Oh, no doubt,
being
Emily.
pulled over in your car. In my eyes, I thought it was gonna be for the T-tag, temporary tag thing, the sticker. But like,
It was initially just for your speed, I promise you that.
no, I apologize, sir. I apologize. I'm just trying to do what I gotta do. But I know for a fact what I heard. I have 20/20 vision. I'm not a criminal. I don't do things that I'm not supposed to. I heard him tampering with that rubber band.
Okay.
That rubber band was on that money because my girlfriend gave me the money this morning and told me I wasn't even supposed to be in her car. I just took it because I didn't want to be Ubering around all day, and my girlfriend had a car and she was going to work. I was supposed to be picking her up off Central at her job, at her little, where she do cosmetics at. With that money, we supposed to go to the bank.
What's
If y'all, I'm pretty sure when y'all check the car, y'all see the little Chase. Sir,
What's your full name?
Moncree Tyree Moon, M-O-N-C-R-E, last name Moon.
Do we have all your information?
Yes, sir, but I want to know what y'all gonna do about Mr. Chapman.
Okay.
He was just caught at work.
Don't let him drop it. Don't let him drop it.
I'm gonna do my job, all right? So
I want it wrote down. I'm not gonna lie. Now, listen, Mr. Morris, I'm not gonna cut you off.
Listen, there's nothing I can give you right now to tell you what I want to do. But like, what I can tell you what I want to do is if you allege that he did something, honestly,
did you recount the extra money?
He said it was 1,000.
No, like, it's not 100.
Oh, it's 900. I have it right here.
It's between 900.
Do you mind,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was what I could put in. It was separate.
So like if you allege that Officer Chapman did something.
So you guys don't
Listen. I'm telling you exactly what I'm gonna do. Do not parse every word I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
See, this is the problem. This is why you really shouldn't interrupt cops, because it just gives them an excuse to stop the conversation and be like, hey, be quiet and listen to me. And that way they never actually get to the point of saying anything valid. Because every time you try to talk when a cop is talking, they're going to stop what they're saying and try to tell you to shut up. And that's just the power dynamic that's at play here. So it's best, yeah, like if you want to get something done, like move along with this, just let them talk. And then force them to let you talk. So, just, you can see that, I'm sure you're about to see it on display. You just did, but.
Exactly what I'm going to do, all right, is that I have to get on the phone. I have to call my supervisors to run up the chain, all right? But you're still going to jail.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I wasn't trying
But like that's why I'm asking you if you gave them all of your information on how to get in contact with you. Did you do that? Name.
Only thing I asked was my first name and last name.
Do we have address and a phone number?
You still have a gold pan?
Yes, sir.
We'll see to get your phone number. We have everything else.
What's your phone number?
You can take my
Yeah, I know, right, Pearl? Oh, I was like, what happened?
And my mom.
So what's your girlfriend's name? What's your mom's name?
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here.
Just for like to put in my property, I would like for you to write down Sergeant Moore's name. I would like for you to write down Mr. Lack's name. I would like for you to write down your name and Mr. Chapman's name.
Right,
and it's not like I just don't want to forget it. You feel
Let
me?
me finish searching you.
Yes,
because I
ma'am.
gotta get you in my car.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, like anything.
Does it say anything about like what happened afterwards?
At intake.
Oh, okay, let's see. We get his side. All right.
Okay.
What do you got to say for
So,
yourself,
what's
buddy?
gonna happen, all right? We have people coming in. Obviously, they have to talk to you, all right? So, I want to hold on to your weapon right quick, okay?
Yep. Go ahead. Just take the whole holster off. It's one of them.
QLS.
I got it.
Sergeant Burke and one of the detectives will come and speak to you, all right? So, just chill out, relax. Do you need anything?
No, I just want to apologize to everyone. I say, man, one of these things, dude. And I'm sorry.
One of these things, dude. It's one of these things. I mean, at least he's taking accountability for it now. I mean, he did try to hide it at first. Well, I mean, at least he's saying... You know what I mean? All right, well, what did they say? He was fired, right? Let's see what this description says. Let's see. A sergeant approached the scene as the allegations were made. The warrant claims that Officer Chapman appeared nervous. And he said he didn't have any money. On the day after the incident, he resigned. And there is a criminal case against him. Well, there is a criminal case against him. I mean, accountability really doesn't come from them getting fired. Like, I feel like that should just be a mandatory aspect. Like, yeah, they should be fired. I don't consider that accountability, really, because, you know, we all know they could just go get another job at a different department or find another job. Losing employment doesn't make up for taking away someone's civilian rights. I think the true justice is what happens in the courtroom afterwards, which will hopefully be taken care of by this criminal case. All right, let's move on. So there was this kind of short video. I've seen this like post come up on my personal Reddit feed a couple of times. I have not watched this. Oh yeah, he should be charged with a lot of stuff. It didn't say in the description what exactly he was being charged with, but he should be charged with a lot of things. No doubt about that. I mean, he clearly admitted to it on video. So, anyway, this video is kind of short, but I haven't seen it. I saw that it got quite a few upvotes on Reddit, but I did not watch it yet, so I figured I would just save this and watch it with you guys tonight. And I've got this and one more thing, and then I'm going to hop off here. Like I said, this is going to be a relatively short stream. I just wanted to hop on here, test things out, see, you know, if you guys like this or not. So at the end of it, you guys can tell me what you think. All right, let's check this out.
Insurance.
I will.
Are we clear?
Yes.
Give it to me.
You'll have to wait one moment.
No, sir, I don't.
For me to look for my stuff?
Sir, you're about to go. You're out of your money.
Are you watching this?
No, watching this. We're
Please
going to record this.
Yeah. Are you recording this?
Yes, sir. Hold on. Are you going to give it to me, or are you coming out of the car?
I have to reach for it.
Go,
yeah.
Please, go ahead. By all
The
means.
driver's license?
Registration and your insurance,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So Saturday, we're both working. I'm just dropping
We're
someone
both
off
not doing the same thing, sir.
Yeah, Pearl, yes, there are felony charges for acting under color of law and doing certain things.
I'm providing safety and security, and you're obstructing the roadway.
I have to provide safety and security as well.
You're not doing it, sir. You're doing a very poor job. Give me
I'm younger, and you have a lot more experience.
I am older. I do have more experience. You are younger, and I wish that you would listen more than you speak. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you listen more than you speak. Give me your registration, your insurance. I'm not here to take your nonsense,
you were
sir.
literally
I'm not
you
here
were
to take
super
your nonsense,
aggressive. There's a way to do it too.
Sir, I apologize that
It's
you
a
feel
Saturday,
that way, but you have to do as you're told.
That's a deflection.
You have to do as you're
It's
told.
about taking accountability also for the way you
can
show
do
up.
This. You can do this
You're
with
still a
somebody
human
else.
being. I'm still
I
a
am
human being too.
Yes, you are, sir. But
so treat me kindly.
no,
I have not done anything
I'm
to
treating
you.
you according to the law. Sir, I'm about to pull you out of this car.
Dude,
you are
this is
obstructing
not
me.
normal.
No, it's
This
not
is not
normal.
normal.
This is not normal. This is bonkers.
No, you have
Give me the
mental-
registration and
mental
give me the insurance in the vehicle, sir.
1 second, please. Will you give me 1 moment?
Sir, get out of the car. Listen to me very carefully. If you resist me,
I am not resisting.
you're gonna make the
I
news.
literally have the registration on my hand.
Since this video is so short, I'm going to let it play through.
Goddamn insurance and stop playing games with me.
I am.
Give it to me. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Is on the screenshot.
You have to have a physical insurance.
I didn't know that. I just got.
I know that you didn't know that. There's a
didn't
lot
know
of
that.
things you don't know.
We're all learning.
No, we're not all learning. You're learning right now. Let me see the insurance, sir.
I'm pulling it
You don't have a
out.
physical copy with you, do you?
No, sir.
Pull up so you can let these people out. They're welcome to watch if you like.
Wait 1 second.
Get your hands out of the way.
I don't want you. Excuse me.
Park the car.
Excuse me.
Park.
You're being aggressive though.
you're
Why
fucking
are you
lying, man.
throwing the? I'm gonna park
I
the
don't
car,
know
but
what to
why
tell
are you
you.
being so aggressive?
Get out of the car.
Wait 1 second. I have
Get out of the
I have
car.
the thing on.
Get out of the car.
1 second. The car's in drive.
Put it in park.
Okay, but I mean
Get out
like
of the
I'm
car.
out.
Turn around.
Everyone.
Put your hands behind your back.
My hands are behind my back. You can slow down. I'm not even doing. Hello.
Okay. Arrested for the charge of not providing your insurance quickly enough. Like, what's the charge? Is it obstruction? Is that what he said? Thank you, Zero. Appreciate that. And yeah, I'm glad that the guy was videotaping. I don't know if this is actually a constitutional violation per se, because it actually looks like this is happening at an airport now that I'm seeing this. And officers do have the authority to enforce traffic laws. If he's blocking something, the cop can just arrest him for it. And I've talked about this in a couple of different episodes of ATA, but it doesn't matter what the offense is. Like, you can be arrested for pretty much any crime. It's citations are really just a way to expedite the legal process and not force you to go to jail. Because if everyone who got a ticket went to jail, that would be an unsustainable system. But yeah, I mean, Emily is right. That this charge is just, I'm mad and you're not doing what I want you to do fast enough. I mean, especially considering how many upvotes this got on Twitter, or I'm sorry, Reddit. I'm sure that this guy will be fine, and that they're not going to charge him with any, or his charges will be dropped if he was charged with anything. Let's see what the comments are saying. Oh, right. I forgot about the actual physical insurance card thing. I don't know of any state that requires you to have a literal physical proof of insurance card. It's usually you have to provide proof of insurance, not just literally a physical card that is your proof. You can provide it in a many different ways as long as you provide proof. Would I consider that to have been reasonable force? Absolutely not. I don't think that there was any reason to pull the guy out of the car over a traffic infraction, much less, because he was not doing what you wanted him to fast enough. That was a completely unreasonable use of force. But was it a constitutional violation? And was it excessive force in the eyes of a constitutional? Would a constitutional evaluation of this force consider it excessive? I don't know. He really didn't do much. He didn't do anything that wasn't within his legal authority to do. It just was way over the top. It was totally unnecessary. It was poor discretion. And yeah, I understand that he was an Uber driver, but Uber drivers are not granted, you know, special driving privileges or anything like that. So I'm just trying to analyze this strictly from the letter of the law and be objective as possible. And it's totally possible that maybe the guy was committing some kind of traffic infraction, you know. But yeah, he did have zero patience, and that was totally ridiculous. Yeah, the MIMS ruling, man. Kung Fu Grip has it right. The MIMS ruling is utterly... actually, the ruling itself is not crazy. And it makes sense that if a police officer thinks that they're in danger, they should be able to pull you out of your car just to make this situation safer for everyone. The problem is that the MIMS ruling is now just used as a justification to pull anyone out of a car for any reason at any time. And it's basically impossible to prove that the officer wasn't in fear for their safety. So it has turned into really, really bad. It would be interesting to see how many arrests result in convictions. And you know, an interesting thing is that in other countries, like for example, Japan, they have something like a 99% conviction rate. Because people over there don't commit crimes at the rate that they do here. And not only that, but you combine it with the fact that every metropolis in Japan is covered in surveillance. They have very little privacy in public, especially. But it's just interesting that, you know, there are countries out there where if you get charged with a crime, you're basically, you know, going to get sentenced for it. When I was 12, I was charged with obstructing of traffic on a dead-end road. My grinding pole was blocking my neighbor's driveway. The irony is that I was in his house playing Tony Hawk with his sons. Yeah. Skaters and police officers, they're like lions and hyenas, you know, natural enemies. Let's see what else they said about this video. I know you have to have proof of insurance, but does it have to be physical proof? Let's see. Somewhat related. I only have a digital proof. This happened in Miami. Yeah. Japan can keep people in jail for 29 days without charging them. That's insane. That's so crazy. Like, I don't even know. I can't even fathom how you, like, become a society like that. That blows my mind. There's no laws forcing the government to give all evidence. Gosh. I wonder if you have any, like, exceptions if you're a foreigner. I mean, I'm surely you would at least like have aid from, what do you call that? Embassy aid. All right, I got one more thing that I want to look at, and it's kind of controversial. And I'm glad that we have a relatively small audience here because, you know, it kind of tells me that these are some of my more dedicated fans. And I think that with that context in mind, it's easier to, like, speak freely about things because you guys understand that. I feel like you guys understand me at a certain level. You know, I'm not trying to, like, push anything down your throats or tie you to any kind of agenda or anything like that. But there is something I was thinking about making a video on. And I kind of wanted to get your guys' feedback on it because there is a lot of, it's a popular topic right now. And I think that it's one that could use a lot of clarification. It's this right here. Now, just seeing this cover, I'd like to know what kind of emotions and words come to your mind. Because surely I think you guys know what this is. And let me hear your thoughts about it for a second. Can be held for 23 days without, with an extension possible. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad. That's good, Emily. Don't watch the news. Because honestly, it doesn't, it really has no bearing on your actual life most of the time. So, there's a lot of information being shared around the internet about this document. And a lot of it is propaganda from both sides. I mean, this document itself is basically propaganda. But the reporting from the left on this document has also been rife with propaganda. And I don't know if I've said this before, or maybe you guys have caught this on a John Lang video. But I am not a Democrat or a Republican, and a lot of people say, well, it's easy to have an opinion when it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. But I like to think that there's a lot of people out there who don't consider themselves to be Democrats or Republicans, and that they would rather just, have representation that actually represents their own values. It does read like a gentle coup. I will say that. Certainly reads like a gentle coup. And there are elements of this that are, there are elements of this document that are highly concerning. But there's also parts of this document that are just straight up being, blown out of proportion. I wouldn't say I'm a libertarian or an anarchist. Really, I can't. I think I'm a political nihilist, honestly. I don't think that there's any real political system that fits for everyone, and I don't think that. I think every political system will have its shortcomings. I like the idea of democracy, but just like socialism, it seems like it never really works out. There's just some element of corruption involved in every political system, and it's just difficult to relate and advocate for one particular one. And it's very difficult to advocate for a particular candidate because I disagree with 50% of what Trump says, and I disagree with 50% of what Biden says. So if it leaves me in this political no man's land, and it's just difficult to James, I would say that I am a constitutional legalist above all else. I do think that the law is important, that the Constitution is a foundational document, and that it should be adhered to, but it should also be reformed when necessary. How do I feel about the Supreme Court justices? Well, it's interesting, especially with Clarence Thomas. He has actually ruled. His history of ruling is interesting, to say the least. He has been a flip-floppy justice, where at times you feel as though he's motivated by different things, which is interesting to me. I haven't read too much about like the charges that AOC supposedly laid against him recently. I mean, it's really easy to say that that's just a Democratic ploy to get some kind of sway back into the Supreme Court. But he has been a justice for a long time, and no ruling is really coming to mind, but I have found myself agreeing with his logic reading some of the past court cases that he's been involved in. So I've also found myself disagreeing with him as well. So I don't think he's like a bad Supreme Court justice, but if there's crimes afoot, then of course accountability needs to follow that. The Chinese do appear to be doing very well. They're always doing well. If we're doing well, they're doing well. We're not doing that well, but they're probably doing really well. If the government gave people something to believe in, then people wouldn't be so adverse to a government existing. Yeah, that's true. But everyone has a different vision of what a government is supposed to be, what it's supposed to be, and what would constitute a government that you should believe in. So it's just really hard to please everybody, especially in a country like this. Like, I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand about America is how diverse it really is. I mean, if you go to even the UK, I mean, the diversity difference is insane. We are somewhat of an experiment within the global society of like combining all of these different cultures and seeing if they can cooperate to make a functional government. That's what's so great about America. But it's also its greatest flaw, because it's very, very difficult to find ways of governing that appeal to everyone. Let's see. Pearl loves guns. I love guns too. I'm from the South. And I was born and raised around guns, so they've never been a fear of mine. And of course, we have the Second Amendment. Loopy says, I find it unbelievable that with a population of over 330 million, that TNB or Trump and Biden are the best that we can find. Yeah, they're not. And that's because our political system is infected with nepotism and hierarchy. And it is an industry, just like Hollywood is. It's ugly Hollywood. Literally. So, I mean, it's a popularity contest. It's not about who's qualified to do the job. And I mean, honestly, the whole job of the presidency is more of like it's like winning a beauty pageant, Doesn't really mean a lot. You don't really do much. Let's see. Refry says a constitutional republic lasts only as long as it takes for it to become something other than a constitutional republic. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, it lasts long enough for money to infect the system. Just like with socialism. Because that's the thing. The problem with these political systems is not the philosophy of them. It's the fact that as soon as you introduce humans into the system, they start fucking everything up. So, I mean, that's the real issue with governance. Banana says, if the government focused on basic necessities and social services, that would be ideal. Everyone should have access to these and access to be happy and healthy. I completely agree with that too. And if you think about the amount of money that we spend every year, like just the amount of money that we send to Ukraine. I mean, Jesus Christ. How many people could that have provided health care for? Or homeless people could that have fed? That did absolutely nothing for us and nothing for our security. That's another thing is like, I don't like the idea of America being involved in foreign wars that do not have any impact on them. And the Ukraine is not in NATO, so we have no obligation to protect them. But anyway, I really want to hear your analysis on this document, but if we are debating politics, honestly, capitalism is the root of corruption. Well, I don't know. I think governance is the root of corruption, really. What's up, Overkill? For the people, by the people. You know it, baby. So I got a few notes here about this document. And I was kind of thinking about making a video about it because, like I said, there's a lot of misconceptions about it, and I think that it would be nice to have like an unbiased perspective on like what this is, what they mean by it, blah blah blah. The first thing, though, I think that we should look at is the first thing I noticed about this document, or one of the biggest things that has been talked about, is whether or not Trump knows anything about this document and whether or not this is actually even related to him in any way. Because one thing that he keeps saying is like, I don't know anything about the Heritage Foundation or Project 2025. I had nothing to do with that document being written, and this is not my policy. He's just basically denying it. That's his defense, right? But the truth is, there's no way he didn't know about this freaking company, because there was like 60-something people. Wait. I was actually looking for the Heritage Foundation. So if you look here, somewhere on this page, so when Trump announced his first candidacy, back then, the people at the Heritage Foundation did not like Trump. They did, I don't know if you guys remember, but when Trump first ran for presidency, he was not embraced by the Republicans. They actually did not like him at all. And that was the case, as you can see here. This basically just says that the heads of the Heritage Foundation were not fans of Trump, right? So they kind of changed their tune once he actually got into office. And I wish I had this part of it organized. But let's see here. 66 foundation and employee and alumni were hired into the Trump administration. And these were involved in developing databases. They ultimately received jobs. So here's some of the people. Betsy DeVos, Mick Mulvaney, Rick Perry, Scott Pruitt, Jeff Sessions. All people involved in the Heritage Foundation. And people that were involved in Trump's cabinet and other administrative roles. So for him to say that he doesn't know who the Heritage Foundation is or what this document is kind of ridiculous, because some of the people that worked on this document worked for him in the past directly while he was president. And they were policymakers and advisors, people who he would have taken advice from to draft policy. So it doesn't make sense. So I don't think that Trump is telling the truth when he says that he doesn't know anything about this document or the Heritage Foundation. I'm pretty sure he does. Am I boring you guys? Is this boring? Would you guys rather watch a video than hear me talk about this crap? Let me know. Oh, you're engaged? Well, I'm married. Not boring. Okay. So yeah, so I think Trump definitely. Okay, what's your question, Terry? Shoot me questions. If you guys have questions, feel free. If I start getting ahead of myself or whatever, let me know. Oh, okay, yeah. What's in it that's controversial? Pretty much every freaking thing in this thing is controversial. What this is like basically a Republican policy. They're saying like if a Republican gets into the office in this election, this is the plan that we have mapped out, and this is the policy that we're going to try to draft into law throughout the next 4 years of a conservative candidacy, but administration, sorry, but particularly the first year. So, well, this Cowboys, they didn't make a law that said that he's immune. They just ruled on a case that possibly provides immunity. That's not settled yet, you know, but we'll get back to that. We'll come to that later. But this document, basically, every part of the government it goes through and says this is what the conservative agenda is going to aim to do while Donald Trump is in office. And it doesn't, I don't think it specifically says while Donald Trump is in office, but while the conservatives have the power to do this, this is what they plan to do. I haven't gotten to the mass deportation yet or any of that. But basically, there are two parts of this that I've really kind of looked into. And I plan on looking into it a little bit more. Maybe we'll do that on stream, like just kind of read this together at some point. But the main one is there's been this meme going around saying that, like, if Project 2025 happens, that they will take away overtime, and that as a worker, you will no longer be allowed to earn overtime no matter how many hours you work in a week. What do you guys think about that? Just abolishing overtime, and you just get paid regular time no matter how many hours that you work. That sounds crazy, right? Let's find the freaking labor. Here we go, Department of Labor. So this is not true. By the way, they're not trying to steal your overtime. And this is like one of the big things that is kind of like why I want to cover this, because like although this document overall is pretty ridiculous, it is not like gonna turn the world into an episode of Handmaid's Tale or whatever. So they basically, here's what they basically said, and I'll see if I can find this exactly, which we shouldn't just gloss over this. They definitely want to remove a diversity, equity, and inclusion and critical race theory from the workplace. But really, I can't find it right now, but I'll just explain it to you. So basically, their plan is, instead of you working 40 hours a week and then every hour you work after that, you get paid time and a half. From what I understand, it would be more so like you could either get paid time and a half, or you can accumulate that extra time and use it to get paid time off. So basically you would be like trading in your overtime wage in exchange for hours that you could take off of work and still be paid for those hours. So it's really just an alternative way of looking at, a way to do overtime that could potentially be cheaper for businesses and offer them incentive to provide like other forms of care, it's an interesting take, which is kind of it's been one of the like topics that's been discussed the most. So it's kind of why I wanted to like talk about it particularly, because I'm just saying, like, I think there's a strong chance that Donald Trump will be reelected. And so I think a lot of people are kind of freaking out about what that means and how Project 2025 is going to affect that. Yeah, no, I don't think they will force you to do it. I think you probably still have the option to get paid regular time and a half if you wanted to work overtime, but you would have the option to trade in your overtime for paid time off. But like, imagine there may be people out there who it would be more beneficial to, like, they work a bunch of overtime throughout the year and then they get to the end of the year and then they have like 4 weeks of paid time off that they can just go a whole month out of the year and just relax and do whatever they want. Yeah, it does save money for the business. And they specifically said in here in this document something to the effect that, like, it would give the business more incentive to provide things like further education, childcare, because like if you can save money here, you can spend it there. And when they spend money on those, here's how it would work. Like, so they would save money by not having to pay you overtime. Then they would invest that money into like a childcare program. And all that money they invest into the child care program would be a tax write-off for them. So they would, in turn, get to keep more money over a longer period of time, instead of just having to pay it all out in payroll taxes into the employees. Oh, that's a sweet working schedule, Michelle. My working schedule is just like, when you own a business, which is what I really consider myself to be, more of like a business owner, of course a content creator, but like when you have to be your own boss, like the amount of hours you end up working is kind of ridiculous. Like I haven't had an off day, like a legitimate off day where I didn't do any single thing in content creation or business in literally 5 years since I started this channel. And so there is kind of an advantage in some ways to being able to clock in and clock out, because once you leave there, that's it. You don't have to worry about it anymore for that day. But man, it is not like that when you have your own business. You never get to clock out. It's just a very different experience. As someone who's self-employed and owns a small business, overtime pay is a workplace benefit, not really a right or entitlement, unless that's in a signed and agreed upon contract, obviously. Yeah, of course. No one's entitled to being paid anything but the federal minimum wage. So yeah, I'm a business owner myself. I have employees myself, and I understand the struggle of having to pay payroll. I mean, it's a huge expense. The market chooses how much you can get out of an employee compared to pay. Well, yeah. I agree with that, James. All right, guys. Well, I just kind of wanted to go over that one little thing with you. Check out some videos with you. Hang out for a little while. Probably going to wrap it up. How did I end up here? I said this earlier in the stream, but I'll say it again because there may be people who are in and out. But I have a degree in journalism. I wrote for a paper that allowed me to do a column on whatever I wanted to write about, and I started writing about Supreme Court cases and First Amendment auditing. Then I decided to do a YouTube channel about it, and that's kind of how I ended up here. I used to work 80 hours a week and calculated taxes take away the 1.5x pay. You're basically working for the straight time pay. Yeah, that's a good point, Emil. I mean, yeah, James. Behind the scenes content, whenever I'm just hanging out here, now that I have all this set up, I'll probably just hop on, hang out with you guys. I might play some video games with you guys next time, if you guys are into watching some video games. I do not play in a band, but I do have quite a few guitars. I play guitar. I play drums. I wouldn't call myself a bass player, but of course, if you can play guitar, you can play a little bit of bass. But no, I have been in bands. I've tried it. You know, it's what kind of games? Lately, I've been playing PUBG occasionally, and I've also been I've been playing this really obscure boxing game that's like a boxing simulator. That game has been, I don't know why I'm so addicted to it. Like, not that many people know about it or play it, and it's not like a great game. It's called Undisputed, by the way, if you guys want to check it out, if you're into boxing games at all. One other thing that I'm really into is what's my opinion of Project 2025? My opinion of Project 2025 is that it is basically just a giant piece of Republican propaganda. I mean, like, of all the stuff that they have in there, there's no way they could accomplish even a fraction of it with the 4 years that they're going to have with Trump. I guarantee you, after these 4 years, the Democrats will probably rally and find like a youthful, attractive candidate that is electable, and take it back. So I think it's mostly just propaganda that's meant to appeal to the base of their voters, and that's it. I said earlier, Pearl, I'm into all kinds of music. Lately, I've been listening to this band called Polyphia. I went to see them in a town nearby not that long ago, and it was a really great show. I loved it. Trying to think of what else I've been listening to lately. I've been listening to a lot of like 90s rap too, like The Chronic 2. That's a great album. It's like a staple of my childhood, and Dr. Dre is a great artist. But yeah, no, this is like Undisputed is very much like in the same vein as Fight Night. It's a lot like that game. But maybe we'll do that next time. Maybe play some PUBG. I'm also thinking about making a Discord, so if you guys want to join that and like play games with me sometimes, we could do that too. Do I listen to the blues? Yes, but I have a very cursory, like, I haven't listened to a lot of blues. Like, of course, I like Stevie Ray Vaughan and like, what's that guy that Nirvana did that cover of, Underneath Something in the Way, I think was the cover. Anyway. Undisputed does have some bad reviews, I'm sure. It went through a pretty long phase of here, I can type it in the chat for you guys. That's the band I was talking about. No, but it's by no means a perfect game. And like I said, it's pretty obscure. Like, not that many people really play it. But I just happen to like it and have fun playing it. So yeah, Bill, there are a lot of rumors, and we'll go over some of those eventually, on the stream. I will say in some parts it's definitely not as bad as people are making it out to be. But it's also some parts of it are actually as bad as people are making it out to be. So they actually have a whole part about media in there, and I would like to talk about like free speech and what their plans are in to that regard, because it's not good, you know. Oh yeah, Dion, I've had plenty of negative experiences with law enforcement. I lived in a like not great neighborhood growing up, so I had experiences with law enforcement, but like by the time I was like 10, you know. Cool. It's good to know that you guys are open to different types of stuff, and you know, I'm gonna start marketing these streams a little bit on the on the main channel, and just kind of trying to establish a presence for it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wind down, hop off here, guys. I appreciate you guys being the first to join the first John Lang stream. I'm gonna try to get a guest on next time, actually. See if I can get someone on a Zoom call. Maybe we could talk. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and send it off. I'll see you guys on the next one. It'll probably be around the same time, and I don't know what day, just randomly. But until then, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Yeah.